Hope you guys are doing really well. So today I thought I would come on and share with you guys my favorite zones in ESO. So I'll probably add this in with the little ESO series that I started a little while ago where I was just doing little bits about the game. I'll link the playlist in the description if you guys are interested in checking out any of the other videos. Some of them could actually probably do with some updating. I am pretty confident that you guys know one of my favorite zones because I say it quite a lot, probably too much. But yeah, I thought I would just come on and share with you my favorite zones, and you guys can let me know what zones you really like in ESO. I was going to do like listing every single zone from like least favorite to most favorite. I tried to list them all and I was doing it. I got so far, but literally the reasons for me not liking them or liking them was kind of, it all got really sort of like similar and samey. So I didn't want to bore you guys with that. So I just thought I would bore you with my like top favorite zones instead. I'll probably repeat the same thing over and over again with these, but I wanted to share with you guys these zones and let me know if any of these are also your favorites. So I've tried to narrow it down as much as possible. There's not very many zones that I really like, but yeah, I'm just putting these in this my all-time favorite zone list thingy, and it's literally just going to be based on the zone itself and nothing really specific to do with the zone in regards to quests or stuff like that. It's just like the zone as a whole, the look of it, just like me going around and wandering through the zone and liking it and stuff like that. Some of the zones I do mention about the crafting areas because some of them do have quite nice crafting areas that I have listed, but other than that it's literally just going to be based on the zone and nothing quest story wise, anything like that, just the zone in itself. These aren't in any specific order either, it's just a list of my favorite zones. I was going to try and put them in an order, but honestly I kind of couldn't really choose, apart from one which you guys know. You guys probably know which that one is. So let's start off with Southern Elsewhere. I really do like this zone. It's just so pretty, and I think this will be a reoccurring theme with me and a lot of these zones where I just love the way it looks. It's just so built up and there's loads of plush grass and trees and plants, and it just looks really beautiful. It's quite a small zone as well, but it is very pretty. It's just so nice to wander around with the plants, the trees, the little rivers, the ponds. It just looks all so cute and quaint, and I love just wandering around. When there's an event regarding like this zone as well, it just reminds me how much I do like it, and I do visit it occasionally because I feel like with a lot of the zones, sometimes unless there is an event on, they will be really sparse and you won't really come across a lot of other players. So some of these zones are also pretty good for harvesting nodes and resources and everything like that as well. But yeah, I really like just wandering through this zone. No matter what time of day it is, the sun's shining, it's just super nice. And there is this little village over one side of the map called Black Heights, and it is honestly such a cute little place to go and visit. It's like got a little river and a little bridge, and it's just full of flowers and plants, and I don't know, it's just super nice. Really do like this zone to go and have a wander around, and there's dragons flying around, so it's like a win-win, super cute. Next up, Greymore Caverns. So this one's kind of a little bit different to what I personally always say that I like loads of trees, bushes, plants, flowers, cherry blossoms, that type of thing. This is kind of like almost the polar opposite, but this area is just so pretty. It's just the colors of it, everything. It's kind of windy down there in the Greymore Caverns, but there are just some really beautiful areas down here in the caverns with the crystals. I love the crystals and like the glowiness, the like blues and the purples and everything, the glowing of the water, the plants, just everything down here. the whole atmosphere together is just so nice, and I just like wandering around sometimes as well, collecting like resources and stuff like that. And of course I can't forget the mushrooms that are down here, and the mushrooms that look like jellies. I just love them so much. So yeah, it's definitely a favorite area of mine to go and visit, and just it's super pretty. Next up we have Artium or Arteum. I never really know how to pronounce this. I probably should have looked it up. But what can I say? It's connected to Somerset, and Somerset is like way up there. It's like my favorite zone. But anyway, so yeah, of course I would really like this zone. The sky is beautiful. The whole zone is just so nice. It's a really small zone, like there is really not very much to do here, like at all. Apart from harvest some resources, go fishing, or just be in a really nice place, because it doesn't have any enemies or anything like that as well. So it's like the only zone that I know of, apart from like if you count, no, towns don't really count, but anyway, yeah, it's like the only whole zone that has like no threats in it really, and it's super beautiful. And of course it's connected to Somerset, so yeah, I would definitely recommend visiting here. It's just such a pretty place. Such a pretty place. Next up we have Vardenfell, which I love the majority of this zone. I really do. I mean, what's not to like? The green colours and the plush grass areas of the plants and the mushrooms, the little lakes, the towns, the homes, everything here just makes me happy. It's just so cool, and the structure of the buildings, like the mushroom buildings and just everything like that, I just really love it. There's a little town in here as well that I just love going to. The town, like all of the little town areas on this map are just so nice, and I just love wandering around, especially when the sun is shining and it goes through the mushroom. I know, it's just like super nice place to go and wander around, and it's not a bad place to harvest resources. I think one thing about this zone as well is it's one of those zones that has a really decent crafting area. Like I feel like it's one of the go-to crafting areas for people's dailies, along with like Somerset and stuff like that, just because everything's in one place. The only thing that I wish that they had in the crafting area of this was the dye station. The dye station is like kind of really out of the way, which kind of annoying, but anyway, that's a little bit besides the point. I just absolutely love this zone, love wandering through it. There's loads of stuff to look at, and yeah, what can I say? The huge mushrooms and the plants and everything. There's nothing flat or boring about it, so it's probably definitely up there as one of my all-time favorite, like top 4 zones to go and visit. Next up we have Amonos, which I'm not sure if this can technically count as a separate zone, as it is connected to High Isles, hence High Isles and Amonos. But out of like High Isles and Amonos, I prefer the Amonos side, so I'm kind of counting it as a separate zone, although I don't think that it really is a separate zone because it's like one map, if that makes sense. But just for the purpose of this video, I don't really like the High Isles side of it, but I do like the Amonos side because it's literally such a dense forest, and I really like wandering through it because there's just stuff everywhere. And yeah, it's honestly nice that you have little pops of colour in the forest as well, and when it's sunny and the sun peeks through all the trees and stuff, it's just a nice place to go and wander. And you guys know that I like really sort of built up foresty style zones and High Isles isn't necessarily like that, although the Amonos side is. So yeah, I'm calling it as a separate zone, but it's not technically a separate zone. So of course, next up, but you guys were wondering when this would be here, Somerset. this was 100% going to be on this list, right? Or it's literally my all-time favorite zone, like number one. It has to be. Again, not that these are in order, but if I had put them in order, this would 100% be number one, because everything about this zone I just absolutely love. I love the towns. I just love everything. I really don't think that there is a section of this zone that I don't like. It's just got everything that I want. It's got the flowers, the plants, the cherry blossoms, everything. It's just a very, very, very beautiful zone. Even the towns are pretty and everything like that. The beaches are beautiful. Everything here just is super, super nice, and it makes me happy when I visit here. It's not a bad place to harvest nodes either, and this has, I think, one of the best crafting station areas, because everything is literally in just one spot, including the dye station, which, yeah, which Varnafall doesn't have. But yeah, even the little sort of destroyed section of this map where the houses and stuff have been like sunken into the ocean and stuff like that, it just looks really pretty. It's really unique, and I really quite like it. 10 out of 10, 100 out of 10, would recommend visiting anytime. Next up we have Western Skyrim. Now I really like Western Skyrim for like two different reasons. I love the fact that like pretty much half of the map is just full of snow, and there are some really cute little villages and stuff like that, and I don't know, it just, the snow is really nice, and I just really love everything about this zone, as well as it just reminds me a lot of Skyrim, obviously for obvious reasons, but there's like a majority of the map is snowy, and then you have the sort of like middle section which is more grassy. It's not my like preferred overgrown bushy forests, lots of flowers, colourful plants, cherry blossoms, that kind of, it's not like Somerset vibes, but it's just really nice in general. Like you can get up quite high and you look off into the distance and you can still see stuff, and I like that. I like being able to see stuff in the distance and everything like that. The trees and everything, just the whole atmosphere of this zone. I feel like a lot of these things are going to have very similar things that I like about them, like the trees and stuff like that, but I just feel like everywhere I go in this zone, it's just another one of those that I like the look of everything, and the fact that it's snowing a lot of the time here. It's just really, really nice, and I love wandering around, and even through the non-snowy areas, but then the snowy areas mainly, especially like on the coastlines, and then you have like the little villages that are really cute, and the main town Solitude is also really nice. I think I really like this zone as well, just because it's like, you know, it's Skyrim and everything like that. I just love it. It's not normally my go-to, like the whole like brick and everything like that, but I absolutely love this zone, and just pretty much literally the majority of stuff that is here I absolutely love. So yeah, this definitely is one of my favorite zones to go and visit. The crafting area in the main town Solitude is, it's not the best, but it's fine. But yeah, I love like the majority of this zone a lot, so this definitely deserves a place on this list. So we had Varnafall on this list, and I'm going to definitely add the Telvanni Peninsula, just because they are so similar, and I feel like it would be rude of me to have one but not the other. So this one pretty much the same as Varnafall. It's just so nice. I actually feel like maybe slightly the zone is a little bit, tiny little bit better than Varnafall, but I just absolutely love this. Everywhere you look there is something, even in the distance. The mushrooms, like just them towering over everything, and you have the colors, and just I don't know, I just really like it. I'm not a huge fan of the main town here, Necrom, but the other like little towns that you come across and like the villages or whatnot, most of them are quite nice. I feel like out of the town side of things, I prefer the Vardenfall towns to the Tilvani Peninsula towns, but the zone itself definitely deserves to be on this list, I think. And of course we have like other little mushrooms that look like jellies, so yeah, definitely gets my votes. I just love wandering around and just looking at all of the lovely colors and stuff like that. Once again as well, when the sun is shining and it's not raining, it's a really beautiful, really pretty place. So that deserves a spot on my most favorites as well. So I'm gonna have some honorable mentions here as well. I have put in the beach areas in High Isles. Now, I did mention in the Amonos section, obviously High Isles and Amonos kind of go together, but I don't really like the High Isles side thing. But the beachy areas of High Isles, like the coastline and everything like that, it is really pretty, and it just reminds me of Somerset. So if I do ever go to High Isles, I'd like to wander around the beach sections because they just look really nice. Northern elsewhere, but literally only the southern section of the map, because once again it's all plant-like, and there is this cute little bridge with water. Oh, it's just like a super cute little area to walk through, and when I would take tons of screenshots, it would be one of the places that I would like to go to get screenshots and stuff like that. But yeah, just like that lower side of the map, just that section, it's really pretty down there. Okay, I'm probably going to butcher this name, but ARX Caverns. It's sort of connected to Greymore. It's the underground section of the Reach, and it's pretty much identical to the Greymore Caverns. So I could have included it with that section, but there's only really one part of this underground area that I really like, and I don't know, I just love the look of it, and that is the area that leads out to the Night Hollow Keep. It's just really cool to go there and just see it all. Like, you've got this big castle keep in the distance, and then you've got the glowing plants and the water and everything like that, and the ghosts that are it's a super nice vibe. But it's a really small area, so I thought that I would just put it here, as it's only like that one little section really that I think is really cool. So Fargrave, I put this one in the honorable mentions because I really love the town here. I mean, it could have been called a town, little town, city, like, I don't know. It's like a little market or something with all the little market stalls and stuff like that. I just think it is really nice. The sky here is very pretty, and just everything to look at. I love all the little details and the little knickknacks, and it just looks really cool. So that's a place that is nice to go and visit, but it's not really much that you're going to visit. It's literally just like a little market area. But yeah, I really do like that little section of Fargrave, because Fargrave's kind of connected to the Delve as well, but just like the main Fargrave market town thing is what I'm on about here. So here's Bane as well. I don't visit this very often, but I do think that it's a pretty zone with the streams and the rivers running through it, and the beach section, of course. It's just nice to go here, and I visit this sometimes to do some harvesting as well. Recently kind of like rediscovered that I really like it during the event that they had. I'm just wandering around the coastline of it. It's actually really pretty. So yeah, that's definitely one of the ones that I wanted to put in the honorable mentions section. I've also got Bleak Rock Isle as a honorable mention because it's just another one of those zones that I love wandering around. I mean, all of these zones are pretty much that. I just really like going back and visiting them and wandering around, and this zone is one that I find myself going back to for just harvesting nodes and stuff, as well as I love the fact that it's just all snow. This whole map being pretty much snow is what I really like about it. So it's not like a super favorite, but I wanted to add it in the honorable mentions because it is one that I quite like to go back to and, you know, harvest nodes and just have a wander around because it's full of snow and I like that. So in the honorable mentions, I'm also going to add in Apocrypha. So this was, it's not necessarily, like you guys probably know, like my style of zone, but I wanted to add it into the honorable mentions just because it is so different and it's really unique to any other zone, and I think that's a reason why I like it. I don't necessarily find myself coming here to wander around and stuff, but I really think that it deserved a mention just because it's really unique, and there is also stuff to look at, but it's just like, it's like a grimmer version of like the Telvanni Peninsula or Varnamfell, in my opinion. Like, you still have the mushrooms and some colourful plants and stuff like that, but they're a lot more, I don't know, like monochrome or like toned down in colour, very dark and everything. It just suits the area, of course, but yeah, I thought it deserved a mention just because it's really unique and it was a really cool addition to the zones that we already have. So we just wanted to mention Apocrypha here as well as you have like the two different sides of Apocrypha, one where it's like really green and then the other side where it's really red, so you kind of get like two different aspects in one. I think personally I like the red side because it has more colors, like you have like purples and stuff like that. It's more, I don't know, dusty, whereas the other side is more doom and gloom, I guess. Although I like the more red side because it has more colors. It's a lot more, I don't want to say barren because it's not necessarily barren, but there's not as much stuff everywhere as there is with the green side. I mean, there's still stuff like absolutely everywhere, but it doesn't seem to be like all in one place, whereas the other side you have like the globules in the river and you have the tendrils coming up, and it just seems a lot more inhabited, I guess is a word that I could be looking for, and the rain and everything here just gives it a completely different vibe. So yeah, I wanted to give Apocrypha an honorable mention in my list. Rosca as well, I'm going to add into this section because I do like to wander through that, especially because it's like one side of it is sort of like green grassy, and then the further you go it gets into like snowy, so it's kind of like almost the best of both worlds, although there's not very many like bright colored plants or flowers or stuff like that. It still has like two areas that I really like, with it being planty and then snowy. So yeah, I quite like wandering through that zone as well, and that's also a zone that I use sometimes when I want to get some like a B-roll or something for some videos. But yeah. And lastly, for the honorable mentions, we have Oren, and of course I had to put this one on here. It was kind of like the first zone that I really visited when I first started playing, of course being Ellesmere Dominion. It's once again just a really nice place to take a stroll through, and even harvesting here is quite nice. It's sort of a flat terrain, so you can get from like one side to the other pretty seamlessly without too much of a hassle. But yeah, there's just like cherry blossom trees and plants, and just, I know, it's just such a beautiful zone. Once again, when the sun is shining and everything like that, and you just take a stroll, take a merry little walk through. It's one of the places that I like to go and visit. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you liked it. I mean, I feel like I have repeated myself so many times about what I like about each zone is kind of like the same, but I just wanted to share with you my personal favorite zones. I would love to know what your favorite zone is, or your couple of favorite zones or all of your favorite zones and everything like that. So let me know in the comments, because I'm really curious to see what you guys like to what I like. But yeah, I feel like I've got a nice mixed bag of different things that I do like, or different zones that I do like. A lot of them are similar, like Artheum, Somerset and stuff like that. But then obviously you have Skyrim and Vardenfall. But I mean, they're all kind of have the same vibe about them that I like, where it's just like colourful, there's stuff everywhere, or it's snow. It's kind of like a one of the two. But yeah, there are still some zones that I like little sections of course, but I just wanted this to be like the whole zone in total, like everything included in that zone, like I absolutely love. But yeah, there are some areas of a lot of other zones as well that I do like. I haven't put all of them in the honorable mentions because some of them it is just a small snippet, although I know there was only a small snippet of the Northern Elsewhere map, but like Gold Coast, there's parts of that I like, there's parts of Stros Mackay that I like, and then there's like even a couple of places in Stonefalls that I quite like, and Deshan, but it's just they're just like really menial. So I wanted this list to be pretty much I love everything about the whole zones. So yeah, let me know in the comments what is your favorite zone, if any of these zones that I've mentioned is also your favorite. If you don't like any of the zones that I've mentioned, let me know as well, because I would love to know why you don't like them. But yeah, just thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like button, leave comments, don't forget to subscribe if you have not already. I'm really looking forward to the new chapter coming out and exploring a little bit more of it on PTS. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, bye!